Yeah, I can give you an example of a time when that happened. So, one of the clients that we work with, one of their guys, one of their sales reps, basically the manager said to me, "Look, we don't know what happens because he gets really far in the deal, but when it comes to closing it, his closing ratio is really low." Okay, so I'll give you the shortened version of the story. And when I sat down and spoke to him, I found out a few different things about him. Now, ethnically, this guy was from South Korea. I just happened to live in South Korea, which helped, but I didn't have to have lived there to know this. But in Korean culture, it's really important to show respect to someone who's older than you and somebody who's in a more senior position than you. Okay, so this guy, what was happening, right? I knew the problem wasn't likely to be a technical problem so much because he was getting quite far in the sales process and quite a complex sell. So he was persuading quite a few people, but when it was coming to the end, decision makers, it wasn't going through. And that's because typically the decision makers he was dealing with were A, a lot older than him, but B, a lot more senior than him. They were sort of C-level people. And what he was doing is internally, without realizing, that was making him become a little bit too subordinate, okay? A little bit too much like a yes man, should we say? And he wasn't challenging the customer. Sometimes you have to challenge back and push back on the customer to make a sale. And that's where he was losing it because he wasn't having authority. So once he realized that, that was a bit of a game changer. And then we gave him some tools and techniques on how to sort of rewire that or get around that, as well as brushed up on his technical skills a bit. And it was a game changer. He started converting deals. And that was an example where sometimes companies or leaders will look at a rep and just think, well, we need to give them more training. We need to up their skill level. When sometimes it's actually something different. Sometimes it's more of a mindset problem.